Francis Ngannou is on the last fight of his UFC contract and will not be re-signing to the UFC for now, according to Dana White. Sitting down in an interview with Brett Okamoto, Dana reveals that they could not reach an agreement with Ngannou or his team to stay in the UFC.
The heavyweight championship's about to fight his contract out.
Yeah.
These things happen sometimes, you know. You don't always come to terms with people, and I'm trying to be nice today. When you're a fighter, we just had this conversation a minute ago. You got to be careful who you get to represent you, because that's what they do. And I don't think he said the best representation. If you want to be with us, love to have you. You know, you don't want to be with us, no problem. It's all good.
If he wins, what happens?
If he wins, what happens? So I think his contract, and this is off the top of my head, I don't know. His contract, he still has time with us after this fight on his contract. So he'd probably have one more fight.
Dana alluded to the champions clause at the end of the clip. Every UFC champion who has one fight left on their contract automatically has their contract extended if they successfully defend their belt. So if Ngannou beats Ciryl Gane, he will have to fight at least one more fight under the UFC. But if Francis loses, then we might see Francis leave the UFC. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Ngannou says he will not let the contract situation bother him as he heads into this fight. Ngannou says the situation is what it is.
The situation is what it is, but what I try to do is not to let anything step into me and the fight, because at the end of the day, I'm not allowed to get distracted by anything. You know, he will be on me if I get something wrong, because I was distracted by all the thing around. I signed up for this fight, so I better take it seriously and focus on it. Doesn't matter what happened on the side, we're gonna deal with that after. I can't really tell about what's going on what's gonna happen in 2022, but what I do know for fact is that I'm gonna do my best, doesn't matter what's come my way.
Dana White dropped a ton of news for future fights in 2022, so let's go through them quickly. Tony Ferguson. Dana revealed that Tony has a fight lined up, but refused to say who the opponent is. Drop your predictions on who you think Tony will fight next in the comments. Dustin Poirier versus Nate Diaz. Dana says if that's the fight that both fighters want, and that's the fight that fans want, then he is interested in making it. Conor McGregor. Dana says he believes Conor will be ready to fight sometime next year in summer 2022. Khamzat Chimaev. Dana says nobody is excited to fight Khamzat except for Neil Magny, and that is a fight that interests him. Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. Dana says he's very excited to see this matchup next year. Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. Dana says he's currently working on making this rematch happen for next year. Rose Namajunas. Dana says the plan is for Carla Esparza to get the next title shot. Alex Volkanovski. Dana was asked if Max Holloway is next in line for a title shot against Volk, but Dana replied that he doesn't know yet. An update to the Chael Sonnen alleged hotel brawl story. MMAfighting.com reports that Chael allegedly battered 5 separate people in a fight on Saturday night. Las Vegas police issued this statement, quote, Sonnen was issued a battery citation for each individual victim, then escorted off property. Due to the fact the misdemeanors were committed outside of a police officer's presence, an arrest was not conducted, end quote. Chael has yet to comment, but I'm sure we'll get that soon. Derek Lewis gave his reaction to Francis Ngannou versus Ciryl Gane. Speaking at the post-fight press conference, Derek praises Ciryl Gane for being a good guy and trashes Francis Ngannou in the process.
You're the only guy that's fought Ciryl and Francis both. Any thoughts on who would be favored in that, and who do you think might, have the advantage?
I really don't care. Really don't care. I don't care who wins. Ciryl, I guess he's a good dude. He's a likable guy. I couldn't find anything wrong with him, his personality-wise. Outside of fight, he seemed like a pretty cool dude. Nagano, on the other hand, he kissed my ass. He seemed like a dickhead 24/7, so.
Belal Muhammad defeated Stephen Thompson in very dominant fashion on Saturday night. Speaking at the post-fight press conference, Belal Muhammad feels he deserves to fight Kamaru Usman next for the title instead of Leon Edwards.
Yeah, and who's ever beaten Wonderboy 30-26? Who's ever beaten Wonderboy in that style? Nobody's ever beaten him that way. And Wonderboy's fought for the title twice. Damian Maia's fought for the title twice. I beat both of those guys in dominant fashion. So, you're telling me Leon Edwards deserves it over me, and he almost got knocked out by Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz didn't lose that fight because Nate Diaz never loses a fight. But the way that I just beat Wonderboy, nobody's ever done that to him. Even Gilbert Burns beat him dominantly, but it wasn't like that. I deserve that title shot next because I'm just as my streak is as long as Leon's streak, and Leon's already lost to Usman. So let's stop with these rematches. Let's stop with, oh, he beat Kobe twice, he beat Masvidal twice, and now he's the GOAT. No, give him new blood, give him new look.